Hi everyone. How are you guys? Good evening. Good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. Just trying to let the notifications go out. I didn't even tell my mods that it was time, but here we are. Hi Ringo. How are you? So, for those of you guys who may not be as familiar with Gretchen's case, put a one in the chat if you've ever heard of her story before. Put a two in the chat if this is brand new for you. I know it's one that we have covered for the last 2 years on this channel. It's been a little while, though, since the last time we talked about it. Been a little while, honestly, since there has been any updates at all in the case. Hi, Shadow. Hi, Bushes. Welcome, welcome. So just as a refresher, I do have like a short that I did on Gretchen Fleming a long time ago, and that'll be a less than a minute way to kind of briefly show you guys her story. Give me just 1 second here. I'm just going to put this up and then we'll go through it also. She's 27 years old, between 5 foot and 5'2", 100 pounds, missing in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Last seen at the bar in My Way, Parkersburg, but at some point she also went to the Front Row bar. That is where they found her phone, her purse, and all of the things. She was last known to be with a man named Preston Pierce. As of today, police are executing multiple search warrants on this home here. It's unclear if this is actually Preston Pierce's home or not. Side note, this is way back whenever they originally did that first search. We do know that this home was not owned by him, but he was the renter there. He has not been living there. I do believe that there are new renters inside of this location at this point, but this was the location he was at. This was the first FBI search. It is listed to someone else, but it may be a rental property or something along those lines. Police have still not named any suspects in her disappearance, although they have said that they have received many tips regarding her disappearance. At this point, there has still been no arrest in her case, and Gretchen Fleming is still missing. Please share out this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and follow this case with me. Thank you all for watching, and again, don't forget to like, share, pray. Oh my gosh, have I been muted that whole time? No, I read that whole article. Oh, unbelievable. You tried, mute mom. Unbelievable. I did. I read all of it. 5 minutes of reading. I cannot believe I was muted. Oh, I am so fired. Unbelievable. Just reading away. Unbelievable. When the heck did I mute it? I must have bumped it. Dumpster fire. I quit. I quit. Unfreaking believable. I had to have bumped it. I don't even know how I did that. Welp, I hope you guys just read along. That's why I put them on the screen, so that you guys can just read along, because I'm not reading it again. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. Let's just restart the whole live. Hold on. Let me just hit this little button here. I won't make you guys wait the whole 30 seconds. Now I know where to cut it. I'll clip it out. I'll clip out all the muted stuff. Do over. Do over. Right after pray? What? Mm. Wow. That is so long. Okay. Unbelievable. Hmm. Okay. So, uh, what a trip. I'm fired. So, guys, to read this article or to summarize it for you, this is Gretchen Fleming. This is an article from a year after. So this is from her 1 year anniversary. This is actually where the police officer, he did come out and say that Preston Pierce is in fact the suspect, which the public had known for a long time. There were people who were at the bar with her, that were at the bar the evening that she disappeared, that actually went to police and to the Facebook groups and things like that, and identified Preston Pierce right away as the individual who was last seen with Gretchen Fleming. So in this article, they do officially name him, but said that they confirmed that his name is Preston Pierce, but they declined to share any more information about the man because he had not yet been charged in connection with the case. Now, let's see. It says over the last year, the department had continued to obtain and execute search warrants and send evidence out to be tested. The community remained engaged in the case. It is definitely an emotionally driven case, but the investigation itself cannot be emotionally driven. He said that there is due diligence to Gretchen and to her family and the community at large to do this methodically. Her grandmother came out and she said, please trust the police. They are trusting the police. They want everybody to trust the police are going to get their job done the way that they need to. Says she said, our family appreciates all the kind words, prayer, concern, that the community gives. So I misspoke earlier, though I did say she was 28. I believe she was actually 27 at the time of her disappearance. She was reported officially missing on December the 12th. Her birthday is Christmas Eve. Now, one thing about Gretchen that really threw up red flags, because no matter the circumstance that Gretchen would have found herself in, she would have gone to have breakfast with her grandmother for her birthday. That was something that they always did, and she would not have missed that for the world. And so that was like the hugest red flag for this family, that something was extremely wrong whenever she missed being with her grandparents. That's the article in a nutshell. I cannot believe I was muted through the whole thing. Mm. Hi, BC. Do over. I'm totally not reading the whole thing again. I'm so sorry that I totally did that. And so today, which is November 22nd. Actually, it wasn't today. It was 2 days ago now, because I was a day late and a dollar short on this one. Um, they were back out at this home searching again. And so this is the ex-police officer, Preston Pierce, that they were at his home searching that she was last seen with.
Don't upload your videos to
Pull up this ad and this
And
article.
thank you. Police were back on the former home of a person of interest in December of 2022. The disappearance of a Wood County woman who is still missing today. Reporter Bob Aaron describes the new source for evidence in Gretchen Fleming's mysterious disappearance.
An FBI team joined Parkersburg detectives in probing the interior of a house on Division Street Extension that was the former home of a person of interest in the disappearance of Gretchen Fleming. Preston Pierce, also known as Darrell Lott, once called this home. Fleming was last seen in December 2022 leaving the My Way Lounge and Restaurant in Parkersburg with Pierce, who sources have confirmed to Eyewitness News is a person of interest in the investigation. Pierce has never been charged in the case. The Parkersburg police chief says the search is part of the complex investigation and does not necessarily signal a new development.
No new information or no piece of evidence was found, in the prior weeks or months that led us back here. This is part of just the investigatory process. So, some may look at it and assume that, there has been a major break and we're back there. This is part of the arduous process that it takes to eventually get finality in a case like this.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation would only say they were on a court-authorized activity with their local law enforcement partners.
Of course, it's always beneficial to have people that are experts in fields and a second set of eyes to come in and assist. But as I said, this is not the first involvement they've had. They've been on board from a very early portion.
Police say they are trying to keep the family informed, but are limited on what they can say publicly on the investigation. The board noted they are approaching the 2-year mark of Gretchen's disappearance, calling it an unfathomable nightmare for the Fleming family. In Parkersburg, Bob Aaron, Eyewitness News.
Okay. So this is him today, or 2 days ago. I'm going to keep saying today because in my mind it's today. It was the best mute mom moment ever. Stop. It was not. Um, so about Preston Pierce, let's talk about this. He used to be named Darrell Lott. He had changed his name to Preston Pierce, and he was moving around to multiple different locations. He had been a police officer in his past, and he was removed from the police department for various reasons, but one of which included sexual harassment. Um, there are multiple people from the local community that have had many, many run-ins with him, doing DoorDash and different other types of deliveries. And he had just been extremely creepy towards them and made women in general in the surrounding area feel very uncomfortable. They did acquire a search warrant on his home and property not too long after she had went missing. And at this point, they are obviously back out there searching again. Now, the officer in this video, he is saying that it has nothing to do with anything. It's just something that they continue or are continuing their investigation, that there isn't necessarily new evidence that led them to go out there and do this, but that it's just part of their investigation. That to me seems a little bit odd because they were out doing different luminol testing and things like that. For me, it's just not my experience that police officers typically wait an entire year to be like, "Hey, you know what? This is um good a good time for us to go out and we should go get luminol test again." That to me seems odd. Yeah, a second set of tests 2 years apart. I don't know. But for those of you guys who have followed cases with us in the past, this is West Virginia. And every time that we see cases in West Virginia, they are some of the most closed-lipped. They do not tell anything. They don't tell anything. It's so hard to get different records from them. It's so hard to see what's going on in these investigations because they really do keep everything so close to the vest. And so to me, even if there was some type of evidence that led them to go back out and search there again, they wouldn't tell us regardless. And so that's the unfortunate side of things. Now, what this is, though, is this is another moment of hope for this family that this man's going to be arrested. Because as of recently, according to the Facebook groups, he was just recently kicked out of a bar for acting inappropriate inside of the bar. And so he's still lurking around the different areas surrounding this community and still being just as creepy as he was before. Yeah, it's in West Virginia. I know. Seal and I have feelings about West Virginia. And not that they don't do their job. I mean, they very well could be doing their job. We just don't know what's going on, right? And so the family is asking us to trust the police. That's what we're going to do. Um, but I do find it odd. So this is where I'm going to go into a little bit of speculation on my side of things. There was a And I am not in any way saying that this is for sure Gretchen. So let me just make that clear right now, because I do not want to start any false hope or anything like that. At this point, they have not identified the remains. They have not told us if this is male, female, or any of the things. But on November the 19th, there was a story from Morgantown, West Virginia, and they had said that there was a human remains found in a shallow grave there. And so my mind always just jumps to, could this be her? He had to have taken her somewhere. They searched the immediate area so much. And so could that be what sparked new investigations? Or is it just like the officer said, and the investigation, the searches that we've seen were already pre planned? I don't know. I don't know. But this is the only, let me see. This is the article that I found about the body found in the shallow grave. It just says body found in the shallow grave outside of Morgantown. Despite or Deputies found human remains in what appears to be a shallow grave in, is that Monongahela? I don't even know. This county. I'm gonna butcher the heck out of it if I try to say it. That county. The remains were found on Little Indian Creek Road near the intersection with Birch Run Road, according to the sheriff's office. The body that was found was sent to the West Virginia office of the chief medical examiner for autopsy and identification, and will then be sent to Mercyhurst University for complete forensic examination. It will be handled as a homicide investigation. So this is someone's body. I don't know whose. And I'm gonna guess that they probably don't know who and won't know whose for a long time, unless there was something on this body that could identify the person. Yeah, they don't give anyone in West Virginia outside of the state any info. You have to go in person for absolutely anything that you want. Let me show you guys this though. So this is Parkersburg right here. And let me pull up Little Indian Creek Road. So this is a pretty decent distance. And so it's definitely possible that it's completely unrelated. This is where, around the area where she went missing, and this is Morgantown. So then you start looking through the different cases. Why is it in meters? You start looking at the different cases as to who else is missing in that area. I do not want meters. I don't even think that's meters. I don't even know what that is. My maps reset. Very frustrating situation. And I lost all of my saved things. Mhm. Regardless, though, it's a pretty fair distance. I mean, we're talking I'd say probably about 2-hour drive-ish. 2, maybe 2.5-hour drive between the 2. Could he have done that? I don't know. I don't know.
Label is road work ahead. What does it say? Flagger ahead right there. Oh yeah, you see a bunch of them, don't you? Labeling it as road work ahead. Say they're searching for something. I just told them I'm recording. I don't think they're just digging up line. They say they're over here doing work. But why are they in his house if they're road work?
You know those easy to learn crochet kits? That's them.
They don't look like road work to me. Oh, someone came out in a whole suit. They're doing this over here. But they're doing this.
What are the chances that they would have road work on the opposite side of the street while the FBI is there straight up searching? There's a few other videos I'm going to try to. Here's another angle of it.
They're definitely digging. And there's a reporter.
And a thank you. This afternoon, December of 2020.
Same video that we watched. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't another one from the police or from the actual reporters. I just wish that, so this is one of those cases that you just can't help but wonder what he did with her or what happened that evening. Let me see this one. This one's from the Sun. She's absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Why is it that same commercial on every single one of these? Like, dear Restream, I already bought you.
Chief Matthew Board of the Parkersburg Police Department, and he says that as of today, there are no new updates on the Fleming case. Gretchen was last seen during the evening of December 3rd and the early morning of the 4th, her last known location being the My Way Lounge.
See, some of the stuff says December 4th and 3rd and 4th, and some of it says 4th and 5th. And I know that we've looked into that on past live streams. BC, do you remember which one's correct? Because I know you're like my encyclopedia of cases. I'm sure that the actual construction on the other side of the road probably has nothing to do with the police investigation as far as actually digging up the road. But again, what are the chances that they would be over there on the exact same day that they're over there searching like that? She did live with her grandma whenever she disappeared, and her grandma didn't think it was that odd for her to necessarily like to be out for a couple days at a time. That's why it took a few days to report her missing. I mean, she was an adult. She is an adult. And so that to her wasn't that odd. But whenever she didn't come home after so long, she was like, okay, something's wrong. Let me see this. This is about her grandma. It says the search continues. Gretchen Fleming's grandma posts heartbreaking pics as cops give update on hunt for 28-year-old missing for 3 months. So this is a long time ago. She left the My Way Lounge in Parkersburg, West Virginia with an older man on December 4th and has not been seen or heard from since. She was very close with her grandma. She is said to have visited multiple spots that night, but no one knows what she was wearing or how she was getting around. Making 3 months since her disappearance, Louise Fleming posted a heartbreaking update regarding her missing child on Facebook. Not a second goes by that she is not in our thoughts. I just cannot begin to understand how someone out there knows what happened and where she is and will not speak up. The grandmother shared an array of images of the young woman appearing with a wide smile and posing with loved ones. She has younger siblings, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends whose lives will never be the same. To all of you who have continued to pray and search and reach out to us, we thank you. The search the search for Fleming has continued over the last few months with hundreds of volunteers joining police in the ramped up community search. In late December, the Parkersburg police chief said that the force had executed various search warrants in regards to the case. We have a person of interest. Um, they wouldn't name him at first. It says they asked whether he would name that person, and the chief said, for the sanctity of the investigation, we are not at that point to release that information. At this point, though, it was already all over Facebook. Nonetheless, investigators are continuing to dig at potential leads and build the timeline surrounding her disappearance. Prior to December 4th, what was a day in her life like, a week or a month, or perhaps months prior to that? What was her normal routine? To track her past movements, police look at data collected through her digital footprint and those close by her. We have a lot of other data, not only from the potential persons of interest, but also from Miss Fleming, her records, her social media, her Google, her banking records, and that kind of stuff. Beyond analyzing the digital evidence, investigators are also reaching out to more people connected to Fleming. It allows us to send that data off, letting people that should be analyzing it analyze it. And it gives us, the investigators, time to go out, reach out to people, interview them, and talk to people. As of now, there have been no major updates to the timeline for Gretchen's disappearance or the missing person of interest in her case. I just looked down and I was thinking to myself, oh, I should probably check and make sure I'm not muted. I agree, Red Rock. Especially on days that my tongue is not cooperating. Guys should see me with some of the names that I have to pronounce during work. Oh, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. I just hope this is it. We see some of these cases, and I have said before, 2024 is the year of justice. We've seen so many cases come to fruition. People get arrested for cases that had been pending for a very long time, trials and court dates, and all of the things for cases that we have been following since it seems like I started YouTube. And this is another one of those cases. I mean, 2 years is too long for an arrest to be made. I was thinking about Gretchen today, because I was getting everything together and trying to refresh myself on the case and who Gretchen is, and the movements that were in her life. And then I was also thinking about, a few of the other cases that we have covered in the past that just still there's been just nothing. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to me as just somebody who has an interest in the case because I'm following it. And then I stopped and I was thinking, like, if I'm this frustrated, if I am this curious about what's going on in the investigation and wanting to know answers and like frustrated with what I feel is like a lack of movement in the case, especially whenever there is a clear person of interest, the person that she left the bar with, the person who claims that he dropped her off at a police department and that he left her there. Meanwhile, she was never seen on camera. His vehicle was never seen on camera there. Nothing. Obviously, not what took place. And you just can't help but wonder what happened and why our legal systems work in a way where the investigators have to put together basically a solid case, like 100% beyond a reasonable doubt proof before they can even arrest somebody. And meanwhile, this guy is out there walking around and hanging out in different clubs in different areas to the point where he has, like I said, been removed from another bar lately because of his behavior inside of that bar. And it makes you wonder, like, how long is it going to be before this guy has another Gretchen? That's where my thoughts go. The longer that they take to arrest him, the longer that they take to get him put behind bars, how many other women out there are potentially at risk in the communities that he lives in? And that's frustrating to me. And then I stop myself and I think, who am I? Who am I to declare how frustrated I am? And and then and then we're in a situation where, how does her family feel? I mean, gosh, how does her community feel? How do the people feel who are living right there? God bless her grandmother to continue to say, trust the police, and that they know the investigation is doing everything they could, but still, that's hard. That's so hard to think about that. Adam got prison justice. I don't see anything. I don't see anything, Bushes. Send me the article. But so then, as I was thinking about Gretchen's case, I started thinking about Echo Lloyd. Echo is another one of those cases that we have covered a few times in the past, and it seems like people just forget. They just move on to the next hip case, and these individuals are still missing. We still have no clue where she is. Another one is Rio Boyd. Let me pull up Echo real quick. Echo has been missing since May 14th of 2020, and there's still been no answers in her case. Another one where they have somebody that they think could have been connected to her case, her boyfriend slash neighbor at the time, but still no movement, and we're no closer to finding her. Her daughter is no closer to having answers in her case. And if you're interested in finding out more information about Echo, there's actually this Facebook group. I'll share it with you guys. And you can find out information there. Yeah, sometimes that one piece of evidence is so elusive, there's still a fear of a no body case. Yep. Right. He was selling all that women clothing. He was selling all kinds of things on Facebook. He was it looked like to me whenever Preston Pierce went, or are you talking about in this one or in Echoes or in Gretchen's? Sorry. We know that Preston Pierce was selling different items as well. Let me see. Another one. Let me pull up Rio. Just so you guys can at least see their faces. Rio has been missing since 22. Let me find a flyer. She's been missing in Spanway, Washington since October 17th of 2022. And with her, it was very weird because she had been living with her dad, walked out of her home. Somehow her phone was found not too far from her home, and they have never seen her, heard of her. She's never been found. Where'd she go? No answers. Gretchen. Yeah, he was selling all the clothing on Facebook. I don't know. I just kind of a few cases kind of popped into my head, and I figured while we have you guys here, we'll bring those up. But I am going to go ahead and get closed up. Oh, no, I'm not actually. There's one more thing I want to show you guys. Hold on one second. Where is it at? Ugh. Hold on. My Facebook is rejecting me because I signed in and out. So Locomai is going to be going live soon, and so I don't want to overstep her live because she will be popping on to talk about a few important cases. But there's one more thing that I want to show you guys in regards to the trial that we watched this past week. And a lot of us were talking about Jose's previous charges, and I found an interesting video. I stumbled across it earlier today. I'm gonna have to send it to myself again because I don't know my pin to get into my Facebook messages. I don't know why it does that. So annoying. Here it is. So this is what I was going to do. I was going to show you guys this. So we watched this trial this week about the murder of Lakin. And one of the things we were talking about was how many different charges that Jose had in his background and why he was able to even be in this country walking free and just being out there for Laken to actually be murdered. And I stumbled across this. It like kind of popped up on my YouTube feed, but this part of it I thought it was very frustrating because he talks exactly about the policies that led to Jose being here and Laken being murdered, basically. So I just want to play this part. It's only a couple minutes.
Now suddenly you don't want to talk about it. It's extraordinary. It's also a pattern with you. So let me just try one more time. Have you read the parole file?
Senator, I'm going to give the same answer, and let me say it.
Well, which one? Are you going to give me the answer you gave to Senator Britt? Or are you going to give the answer you gave to Congressman Bishop? Or the answer you gave to Senator Paul? Or do you want to try a fourth one?
Senator, I will not speak to the particulars of the case, given the pending criminal prosecution.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. Well, you certainly, of course you don't want to, because it is an absolutely damning indictment of your policies. Let's just review Jose Barrera and how he came to be here. On September the 8th, 2022, he was encountered by United States Border Patrol in El Paso, Texas, and was paroled into the United States due to lack of detention capacity. A provision, a proviso, a rule that is not permitted under the statute. You and I both know you know this. You knew it when you were talking to Congressman Bishop. You knew it when you were testifying to Senator Britt, and you know it today. You just never wanted to cop to it because the statute doesn't permit it. And so you lied to Congressman Bishop and you lied to Senator Britt. And now you are hiding behind the ongoing prosecution excuse because it's the last one left to you. Because
Side note, at this point, he has been found guilty for the murder of Laken, which the evidence was so overwhelming, it's ridiculous. But so basically, they caught him at the border and they released him knowing that he was a criminal. Just watch. They talk about he has previous charges outside of the United States, which is something we had all wondered. Did he have charges in Venezuela? Absolutely. And we knew he did. And wait until you hear this next part because it's infuriating.
Because you testified falsely under oath. Then on July 19th, 2023, Ibarra reports for a biometric appointment and was fingerprinted. This is now in New York. The results come back and indicate he has a criminal history. So he's in this country. He has a criminal history. September 14th.
Criminal history. They knew he had a criminal history and that he was released into our country with a criminal history. Hold on. It gets worse.
He is arrested in New York by NYPD for what? Injuring a child. September 14th, 2023, he is arrested for injuring a child. What happens? The offense was never prosecuted and the arrest was expunged. I'm reading right out of the parole file.
This man hurt a child and it was just expunged from his record. Yep, he did. Didn't he have a charge in New York against a minor? Expunged from his record.
Expunged. Nothing is done to this guy. He had a criminal record to start with. He's in the country on illegal grounds. You have falsely and illegally allowed him in. He commits a crime against a child. He's not prosecuted. It's expunged. In November, get this, in November, Ibarra files an application for employment authorization. And unbelievably, on December the 9th, 2023, it's approved. So this is your policies in action, Mr. Secretary. A criminal is permitted into this country on grounds flatly not permitted, flatly contradictory to the statute. He commits a crime against a child, and then he gets a work permit. He gets a work permit. You want to know why all of the jobs in the last 2 or 3 years have gone to illegal migrants? Working people in this country can't get a job. Their unemployment rate's high. Why? Because of things like this. And then what's he do? Well, we all know. Then in February, he commits the heinous crime against Laken Riley.
If he would have been removed any of these times, it's so infuriating. Laken Riley would still be here. And this is the stuff that's going on with how many people have the same circumstances surrounding them inside of this country right now that have come across this border illegally. It's infuriating. And how many times do you have to be arrested before you're not allowed to just walk around our streets? It's ugh. I don't know. But I seen this earlier and I started watching it and my mind was just absolutely blown. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Especially after watching that trial and watching how solid the evidence was and how much they had against him. And then to find out just months earlier he had already been arrested for harming a child and then not only was let go, but had it expunged from his record and was able to get a permit to work and things like that and just live peacefully among us. Except for he didn't. He hurt more people. And so this is the answer to our questions. Yes, he likely has hurt other people outside of this country in Venezuela. He had charges against him there. So I know a lot of you guys were looking at that information. I don't know the actual date of the hearing. It was obviously before he was prosecuted. It just says it's just something somebody clipped. So I'm not sure when exactly it took place. I'm sure I could find it, but I'm not sure. This channel, I watch this channel. They pull up like different clips of the things. I don't even know. I must be subscribed on my other name because I watch from my other phone. Here's the link though to the clip. And then not only does this happen with illegal immigrants though, like, I mean, look, we're watching Preston Pierce walk around and be in this area. Well, he hopped a town over, according to the locals. He's in a different local area, basically 2 towns over, I should say. Um, but still just being himself, still just being the same trash that disappeared Gretchen Fleming, allegedly. I mean, we don't know for sure, but allegedly that's what happened. And he's just walking around. Why do we let criminals just walk around? Um, there's plenty of open land in the United States. Like there's plenty of deserts that have plenty of land that we can throw up as many jails as we need to, in my opinion. Like seriously, wall to wall prisons all the way across the Sahara. I'm good with it. All the way across all of the deserts. Let's just we could put windmills and freaking solar power things on top of them all through Kansas. Or I'm just trying to think of like the boring stretches of road that I've driven before. Like there is things that we can do that these people do not have to walk free amongst us, in my opinion, while we wait until we have solid evidence. Of course, then you get into that slippery slope where, of course, there are always people. There's always that one case where it's like the guy was actually innocent and there was false charges brought against them. I know that happens. And so that's why we do have the justice system the way that it is. But again, we go to the point of if there's X amount of evidence that you're probably involved with that crime, why can't you just be locked up? I mean, honestly, why do we have to make sure that I don't know. Yeah, an island. Let's just put them all on an island. They can live peacefully on the island that Tom Hanks was on with Wilson until we know for sure what's going on. How's that? We can put them all there together. Yeah, Death Valley sounds good to me, right? So, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up too because I seen it and my mind was blown, especially after just watching that trial. And we were all talking about it. And I had seen different things about the different charges that had been brought against him. But to know that they were very well aware of it, like the immigration board and the people who are in charge of that, the powers that be, they were aware. It was all in his notes. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. I agree, BC. As a parent, it would take so much restraint to not go after someone if they hurt my child. I agree. I would end up in jail. I would be dead. I would probably, I don't know. I seen a video of a mom just recently. I seen a video of a mom just recently. This one. This is the video that I seen. And I can honestly say this would probably be me. no matter who the person was. This would probably be me.
Convicted child molester Klaus Grabowski kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and murdered 7-year-old Anna Bachmar. After his fiancée reported his crime to the police, Grabowski alleged that the 7-year-old had blackmailed him, and because he was afraid of going back to prison, he killed her before she could tell her mother, the then 29-year-old Marianne, what he'd done. Understandably, this sparked outrage among the people who were following his trial and hatred in the heart of Marianne, whose daughter he'd killed. On the 6th of March 1981, Grabowski had just arrived in court for the third day of his trial when Marianne entered the courtroom. She looked Grabowski in the eye and then pulled out a Beretta 70 revolver and emptied it into his body. 6 of the 8 rounds hit him, and as he lay dying, Marianne just stared at him while the police apprehended her. She later explained that she'd killed Grabowski to keep him from spreading lies about her daughter and to ensure that justice was served. She ended up serving 3 years of a 6-year sentence for manslaughter before she was released on bail, and in 1995 she'd admit in a TV interview that she felt no remorse for killing the man who'd hurt her daughter. On the 5th of May, 1981,
I can honestly say that would be me. That would be me. I don't know how these parents do it. These family members, they are so strong. They are so strong to wait for the justice system to work. You remember when that happened? I'm glad she only served 3 years, but honestly, in my opinion, should she have even served any? After what he did to her baby? Sure, I guess he wasn't found guilty yet, but I don't know. I don't know. All right, kids, I'm going to get off here because I know that Locomia is coming up any minute now. Probably a couple minutes here. Go get your snacky snacks, get something to drink, and come join us over on the Locomia Life so we can check out some missing cases. Love you guys. Bye.